What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, people keep hitting me up, and they asking me, what's next for former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, and now junior middleweight title contender, or at least we thought junior middleweight title contender, Errol the Truth Spence Jr., who is 28 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, 34 years of age, 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. What's next for the Southpaw? And there's a lot of different reports, rumors, because this is what boxing does. It keeps you in the dark, then it doesn't sell, then they wonder why it doesn't sell. The old business model in boxing, it doesn't work. The secrets in boxing, it doesn't work. But that's for another story. Right? With that said, we haven't seen Errol Spence in the ring for a year. I told you guys they moving and they planning to move back the fight that he wants to have happen. He wants to fight for a world title. He don't want to do tune-ups. And he told you in March, that he wanted to fight the winner of Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora obviously beat Tim Tszyu and became the unified WBC WBO junior middleweight champion. Right? All of this by default because the former undisputed junior middleweight champion, Jermell Charlo, vacated the belts when he decided that it'd be great, jumped up to 168 pounds to challenge Canelo Alvarez, undisputed versus undisputed, and he lost his belts. Tim Tszyu fought Sebastian Fundora. He was supposed to fight Keith Thurman. Errol Spence didn't have no interest in Keith Thurman. He would have had interest if it was Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu was the winner over Keith Thurman. Right? Now, Tim Tszyu lost to Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, who was supposed to fight Sorhad Boachuk for the vacant WBC title. That all got scrapped once Keith Thurman got injured. Errol Spence wanted the winner, fight for the belts. Right? Simple mathematics. Tim Tszyu lost to Sebastian Fundora. Errol Spence got in the ring and said he wanted to fight Fundora. They were setting it up for October. Things got pushed back because of politics, because they tried to X out Terrence Crawford. Right? Couldn't X out Terrence Crawford, who was petitioned for the WBO title. Right? So they couldn't push Terrence Crawford out the way like they wanted to. Okay? And so with that said, Sebastian Fundora cited an injury why he couldn't compete, so he was suspended, so he didn't get stripped of his WBO belt that Terrence Crawford has rights to. Okay? But again, the point is Errol Spence wants to fight Sebastian Fundora for that belt. He wants to fight for a title. Now, there's conversations that Errol Spence can fight at 160 against Erislandy Lara, who is the WBA 160-pound champion who just knocked out Danny Garcia, a guy Errol Spence had fought. Now, in the past, Floyd Mayweather had told you guys that if he, after Errol Spence lost to Terrence Crawford, if he was in charge, he would push Errol Spence to fight at 160 pounds, not even 154, because he's too big for that and he's depleting himself. So he would advise Errol Spence to fight at 160 pounds. That's what Erislandy, Lara, and Danny Garcia just fought. And then Errol Spence put on his social media that he's the boogeyman at 54 or 60. Right? He'll fight at either which weight class. So now there's reports that he's in negotiations to fight Erislandy Lara. So is the Premier Boxing Champion founder advisor Al Heyman taking their advice? Is Errol Spence taking Floyd Mayweather advice? And now telling Errol Spence it's better to just go ahead and bypass 54. 160 is more wide open. You got Thomas, you got some guys there that will compete at 160. right? You got Jenovic at 160. You got some major players at 160, right? So you got Adamas there, right? But Erislandy Lara is an easier pluck. Would they go the route of Erislandy Lara? It makes sense. But on the flip side, why did Sebastian Fundora go through all of this hassle? He could have just negotiated and fight Terrence Crawford. Why go through the hassle of petitioning Terrence Crawford to ask Terrence Crawford to pardon you to fight Errol Spence so you could fight Errol Spence, be stripped of your WBO title, only to let Errol Spence go to 160 and fight Erislandy Lara? Makes no sense. If you Sebastian Fundora and if you Errol Spence, right? Lara would fight Errol Spence in Texas for sure. Lara would do that. He'll go to Texas and fight Errol Spence, no doubt. He's just looking for a payday, and he trains in Texas sometimes, you know. So Lara wouldn't mind doing a fight in Texas. So it makes sense, and that's a more winnable fight for Errol Spence coming back after the Terrence Crawford fight to fight against Erislandy Lara. So is he gonna fight Erislandy Lara? I can't see it. I think it's going to be Fundora. Reason being, why would Fundora go through all the hassle and being stripped of his belt? He could have just fought Terrence Crawford in unification bout and not be stripped. Why would he go through all that to be stripped of his belt just for Errol Spence to fight Erislandy Lara? That makes no sense. But then this is the sport of boxing, and nothing makes sense. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out, man. But that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at BlueBlood Sports TV, or one word, I'm gone. Peace.